All right, so we're diving back into the Saw franchise. You've got those articles ready, you're prepped for the gore, but are you ready to really unpack Saw 7?
It's a wild ride, that's for sure.
And we're going to unpack all of it. The good, the bad, the downright gruesome.
Or the opening scene, Saw 7 doesn't hold back. Remember that bathroom?
Oh, how could we forget? The bathroom, the real start of the games.
This time, it's not just a flashback. We get the answer to a question that's been bugging fans for years.
Years. How did Dr. Gordon survive that?
Brutal, right? The movie doesn't shy away from showing us, cauterizing his own wound. That's some next-level survival instinct.
Talk about a memorable way to kick off a movie, but it makes you wonder, what kind of effect would that have on a person?
That's the thing about Saw. It makes you question everything. And Saw 7 definitely keeps that going. Just look at the first game. It's not some hidden trap this time. It's public, almost like a spectacle.
Two guys, a woman who betrayed them both, and an impossible choice. It definitely grabs your attention, but it feels different, doesn't it?
Different how?
Well, it's more in your face, gory. The early Saw films, they messed with your head. This feels more visceral.
You're saying they traded psychological torment for shock value?
Maybe. And that shift becomes even more obvious when we meet Bobby Dagan. The guy's built a career on surviving Jigsaw, except he's a complete fraud.
Now that's where things get interesting.
Right, this guy's got it all figured out, or so he says. Books, seminars, the whole 9 yards.
He's practically a celebrity, preaching the gospel of Jigsaw.
But here's the thing, he's never even been in a real Jigsaw game. It's all a facade.
And that's where Saw 7 starts to dig a little deeper. It's not just about the traps and the gore anymore. It's about our fascination with these stories, these narratives of survival.
We eat it up, don't we? The idea that someone can go through hell and come out stronger.
Even if it's built on a lie.
Exactly. Bobby Dagan, he's a reflection of that. And it makes you wonder, are we so desperate for these stories that we're willing to overlook the truth?
It's a question the movie raises, but it doesn't give us any easy answers.
And while we're trying to figure out if Bobby's for real, the real game, the really messed up one, that's being run by Hoffman.
Hoffman. Talk about a departure from John Kramer.
Right. This isn't about testing people anymore. It's personal. He wants Jill to suffer.
And he's not holding back.
That reverse bear trap scene, intense is an understatement.
You can't look away, even though you kind of want to.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg, the traps in this movie. There's something else.
I'll just say they went all out with the gore.
People were definitely talking about that. Some loved it, some hated it.
I can see both sides. On one hand, it's Saw. You expect a certain level of, well, intensity.
On the other hand, those early tracks, they were terrifying, but there was a thoughtfulness to them.
A purpose.
Exactly. Some of the traps in Saw 7 feel more about the shock value, like that scene in the mechanic shop.
That's a lot.
It's like they're trying to outdo themselves with each trap. And then just when you think things can't get any crazier, we get that twist.
The return of Dr. Gordon. Nobody saw that coming. Dr. Gordon, Jigsaw's apprentice. It's like the guy went from victim to accomplice overnight.
Right. But the movie tries to explain it in a way, like that first game, sawing off his foot. It kind of broke him.
But we don't see any of that. It's all just implied. We're left to assume that those events turned him into this twisted mirror image of Jigsaw.
And it's a tough sell, honestly. I mean, Dr. Gordon in the first Saw, he was desperate, sure, but he was trying to save his family.
There was a line he wouldn't cross.
Exactly. And now he's the one setting up these elaborate, gruesome games. It doesn't quite add up.
It feels like they wanted to shock the audience, but they forgot to bring Dr. Gordon along for the ride.
Like they needed a big reveal, and he was the most shocking one they could come up with.
Even if it didn't really make sense for the character.
Right. And then there's the ending. Hoffman, trapped in the bathroom, full circle.
It's almost too neat, isn't it? Like they wanted to tie everything up with a bow.
But did it work? Did it feel satisfying?
I'm not so sure. It's like they were so busy trying to outdo the previous films with the gore and the twists that they lost sight of what made the franchise great in the first place.
The characters, the moral dilemmas, the feeling that you were watching something truly unique.
Saw 7 had its moments, but it also had its flaws.
It's a mixed bag, that's for sure. But even with its flaws, it's a film that gets people talking, debating, dissecting every scene.
And isn't that what a good deep dive is all about? It's not about finding all the answers. It's about exploring the questions.
Exactly. So, did Saw 7 stick the landing? Was it a fitting end to the franchise? We want to hear your thoughts. Hit us up on social media. Join the conversation. And until next time, happy watching.